When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever, or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those?
I'm Michele Livingston, and I've been a spiritual medium for the last 30 years, appearing on Fox News, New York.
Hello, everybody. I'm Greg Jarrett. Welcome back to Breaking News. It's going to be a really interesting guest for the hour. Michele Livingston is a visionary counselor.
On stage with medium James Von Prague.
Did anybody smoke, Richard?
Yes.
I smell tremendous smoke even up here. Was that your father that smoked?
My father and my mom.
On ABC
There's
News.
Air, oxygen everywhere. You can't see it, but it's here. Same thing with the spirit realms. So even though it's in a beautiful invisible realm, I have the capacity to tap into it and actually see them. He says, thanks for the balloons. I have no idea what that means. God. Do you have your mother's ashes with you?
My brother and I had necklaces made with her ashes in them, and I just took it off the chain tonight and put it in my pocket because I was curious if it would come up, and it did.
From the east in Harrisburg, PA, to the west in Hollywood, CA, I'm the People's Medium.
Hello, Michele.
Hello, Tony.
How are you?
I'm good, Tony. Happy holidays out there in California.
Yes, happy holidays, and you look gorgeous in the red. You're ready for Christmas?
Well, I would say a little bit ready. You know what that's like.
I know.
Well, tonight is the holiday show for the season. It's about Christmas, and I wanted to do a little bit of trivia. I have a lot of new people watching and listening, and this is new to them. So what I typically do is just take a few minutes on the front end and do a teaching segment, trivia, whatever, and talk about my books a little bit, and then we take phone calls. So as my gift to you, everyone, for Christmas, and all of you, God bless you, I'd like to connect you tonight with your loved ones in heaven. The holidays for all of us, we sometimes get a little bit down, especially around this time of year when we have loved and lost, but really, truly never lost, because love never dies, our loved ones in heaven. They pull their energy down around us on holidays because they love to see us happy. So we'll be connecting with them tonight. If you're on the line, phone number's there, but we won't be taking calls for a little bit. So first, I just want to mention Christmas. And I find this so interesting about the date that Christmas was chosen, December 25th. It was basically a pagan holiday. I laugh because nobody can figure out when the Savior was born. There's no mention of it in our Bible. And so there was conjecture. Was it August? Was it July? When in the world was our Savior born? And Emperor Constantine also became Christian, as we know, back in the 3rd or 4th century. But anyhow, there was an orgy. Wait till you hear this one. Of food and drink, and it was called Saturnalia. Saturnalia. It was an ancient Roman festival, and it was held through December 25th. And it was in honor of the god of agriculture, which happened to be at the time Saturn. And it was the winter sowing season. So after that, they'd have this big festival in honor of Saturn. So Christmas started in Rome. And as I said, it started about 354 AD, after the death of our Savior. It was so interesting because they weren't quite sure what the date was. So they picked one that they were familiar with in Rome as the pagan holiday, and that was the Saturnalia. Also, they worshipped, or they really gave homage to, a personality called Mithra, Mithra. Mithra was the sun god. And they believed that Mithra gave us life because the sun, of course, would come up every morning. And so it was a new day. It was a new dawning. It was a new hope for people in their minds at that time. And guess when Mithra's birthday fell? December 25th. So they looked at all of these things and they took December 25th and they made it our Savior's birth date. And I thought that was really interesting because people say, you know, there's been a lot of conjecture about it. Tony, have you heard about that? That there's been a lot of conjecture?
Say that again?
Well, there's been a lot of conjecture about the date of when our Savior was born.
Yeah, I always wondered. I was like, well, why did they choose December 25th? I mean, because he definitely wasn't born that day. I was like, so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. So it's in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture, and Mithra, who was who the Romans worshiped, the god of the sun. So that is how December 25th came to be. Then Rome finally declared the Feast of the Nativity, and that was in the 4th century, and that's how Christmas got its start. So you might say, well, where did the first Christmas tree come from? And it evolved from Rome and Italy. Christmas came to England, but Prince Albert in Germany cut down a big tree from his yard. It was a 40-foot tall pine, evergreen. And he had a picture taken or sketched with his family. No one had ever celebrated Christmas with trees before 1848, before Prince Albert showed them that he did that. His was decorated with apples. So apples was the very first Christmas decoration, and that then formulated into Christmas balls. So I have to, yeah, isn't that interesting? I have to say, Tony, do you have a tree?
We do a real one. We don't do the fake ones, so.
I know that. I knew that about you. So do you pick it out and cut it down yourself, or?
We didn't cut it down, but we did go pick it out of a lot, which is right next to our house. But it's a beautiful tree. Yes. And
do you have tinsel? Do you have?
We don't have a lot of tinsel. We, lights. We have a lot of ornaments, and then we have, of course, the star on top of the tree.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And we have some old cards, Christmas cards that we also place on the tree.
Oh, that's lovely. You're sentimental.
Oh,
I am too.
Of course.
I do things in a similar way, but anyhow, that's how it all got started. And then Santa Claus. Santa Claus. This is so interesting. In case you don't know.
Ho, ho, ho.
Pardon?
I said ho ho ho.
Oh. In the 4th century, there was a Turkish bishop from Turkey. Here we go. And his name was Nicholas. And he was very revered. So upon his death date, they called him the saint of the Turkish bishops, Saint Nicholas. And after he passed, they started to give gifts to each other annually. And that's how Saint Nick became part of Santa Claus. That evolved into Holland. And in Holland, they had a figure called Cinder Claus. So if you were a good little kid, you'd get a nice present or two from Cinder Claus. And if you were a bad boy or girl, you'd get cinder or coals in your stockings. You've probably heard of this, haven't you? The old adage about being good or naughty or nice, Tony.
Yeah, naughty or nice. So be good for goodness sake.
You got it. That's it. So anyhow, that's how Santa Claus came to be. Nobody knew what he truly looked like. And people would just dress a man in any color, blue, purple, whatever. So finally, there was a famous author that wrote The Night Before Christmas. And this was around 1822. And we all know that, or we all probably know it growing up as a child, especially here in America. It's about the sleigh and the reindeer, and the reindeer were named. So then Santa Claus developed into a personality that rides in the sleigh through the sky and comes down your chimney, and the reindeer are on the roof. And I remember as a little kid, I tried to stay awake as long as I could, listening for the hooves of the reindeer on the roof. But you invariably would fall asleep when you're 4 and 5 years old. You try to stay awake as long as you can. But there was always gifts in the morning, and my parents were just lovely people. They were older when I was born, and I was an only child. My dad was 50, my mother was 40, almost 45, and they had just gotten married. It's a long story, but anyhow, I wasn't even supposed to be here. But they would have 2 and 3 Christmas trees, in different parts of the house. And so it was a big, beautiful, joyful holiday for all of us. It wasn't just about the gifts, of course. It's about the family and gathering together. So after that, people thought, well, what does Santa really look like? Well, then Thomas, loved this, Nast was a very well-known cartoonist. And in the 1800s, he sketched or painted Santa as a fat, jolly man with a white beard and a red cap. And that's our Santa today. So I just wanted to give a little trivia background. I just think it's fascinating. I've said this before, how these traditions that we celebrate every year, annually, develop and where they develop. So that's how Christmas got started, everybody, with the tree and Santa and the whole 9 yards. And even the date, December 25th. So Christmas is around the corner, and I just wanted to say we are giving, you can get a gift certificate. We do make up gift certificates, and we send them throughout the country. It's a good gift for somebody. If you know somebody that would like a reading, you would like to surprise them with one, and you can get that on my website. And my website is up on the screen there. It's MicheleLivingston.com. And there you'll find my books, and you'll find my videos from past shows on Universal Broadcast Network, where Tony's located, out in Hollywood, California. And anyhow, just want to briefly go over some of the books. Tony, I think you have the animal book. Do you not have the animal book? I think you have this one. Yeah, Inspirational Creatures. These extraordinary animal encounters. For all of you fur baby lovers, or if you know anybody that's just lost a fur baby, this is a great book for them. It really is. It's about 80 true stories of people's love for their animals and how animals teach us, how they heal us, how they give us unconditional love. And it runs the gamut from dogs and cats to horses to leopard geckos to parrots, to you name it. But get the tissues out. If you want to get the book, I'll be glad to sign it for you. It is on Amazon, but if you order it from my website, I'll sign it for you. And a lot of those have been ordered recently. The book right before that is called Living in the Afterlife, for those that are new watching tonight. And 33 souls came to me and told me what heaven was like. The first one was my dear mother, Dorothy. And she said, you're going to write a book. It's going to be about heaven. And people always question, where is heaven? Heaven is with us right now. It's a frequency. Just like radio waves and television frequencies are through here. And the cloud is up there where the computer is and all that kind of thing. I'm not a tech person, but you know what I'm talking about. But you can't see it, but it does exist. And heaven is a higher, faster frequency. So that's where our loved ones reside, who I will connect you with tonight. They are in the love and light. There is a connecting portal or tunnel so that when we take our last breath, we go through this beautiful channel to the higher frequency. And there we are met by friends that we've known, pets that we've had, loved ones. They have a reunion for us, and we go through a life review. And that's very interesting. Each soul, it ran the gamut from my mother to clients who had passed, to some celebrities. One was a very well-known singer. I didn't put names in it. Another one was a very well-known comedian. So it runs the gamut, but it lets you know that there is a special place where you can reside and you can learn in heaven. The soul, which is also called our light body, is eternal and indestructible, and we're basically energy. The light body's energy. So we go there and we are in soul groups. We reconnect with those that we love. And that book, Living in the Afterlife, also is on my website and also on Amazon. This one is a lovely book, Miraculous Encounters. It's over 100 true stories of people's communication with not only angels, but with the other side. And there are 10 different ways that the spirit realms communicate. One is through the sense of smell, which is called olfactory occurrences. My papa, he passed when I was 14. He leaves traces of cherry pipe tobacco smoke still for me. I love you, Daddy, up there. So if your grandmother loved lilacs, you may get a whiff of that, and so on. Seeing them is called clairvoyance for the newbies. For the virgins, and I have to clarify, to me, there are virgins watching tonight. And you can see your loved ones in dreams, or actually while you're awake. Sometimes they'll just stand at the foot of our beds. We can feel them. If you feel them, it's called clairsentience. You get warmth or sometimes even chills, you know, when you think of a loved one who's passed. They can send messengers in the form of birds, butterflies, certain animals, and they are not the bird. I'm on a morning drive time show and with 3 other people and who are wonderful. It's 105.7 The X. And an internationally known comedian, Earl David Reed, he's been on HBO. He's on there as well. And his mother came through on the show and said, I'll be sending you cardinals. Well, he thought his mother changed into a cardinal. So he was really freaked out, Tony, because a cardinal would tap at his window and he says, is that my mama? Is that my mama? No, it's not your mama, honey. She is influencing the cardinal to fly your way.
He's just a messenger.
Yeah, exactly. And good point. So creatures with wings, whether they are butterflies, dragonflies, or even birds, and it runs the gamut. They can be blue jays, cardinals, even robins, whatever. But it's a recurring bird that you notice. And a loved one can be influencing that creature to come your way, to give you hope, and to say hello, hello from heaven. They can manifest things like pennies from heaven. So if you find a penny or a dime, it means you're number 1 to a loved one, sending them down from heaven. And I always say, look at the year or the date, because invariably it will have some significance to you. It could be your son's graduation date. It could be if your dad's passed and he's sending them down, it could be his passing year. So pennies and dimes, in numerology, a dime goes back to 1. And that's why they are the most prominent coins found. They can dematerialize. There's a story in Miraculous Encounters where a pearl ring was left to a beautiful lady, and it was her mother's. And she went to wear it, lived alone, and it was gone. It was out of her jewelry box. Her mother came that night in a dream and said, don't worry, I have the ring, I'll give it back. You know, and she's thinking, oh yeah, sure. And honestly, a few days later, the ring was in her jewelry box, the pearl ring. So the point is, they want you to know that you're not alone. They want you to know that there's always the heartbeat of love in every soul, and it will continue, everyone. So happy holidays. Just very briefly, and then I'll start taking phone calls. Yes. And people said, what's the number? It is on the screen. So I hope you're watching me on my fan page. Just to refresh your memory, if you're listening, it's Michele with 1 L, Livingston, the People's Medium. I'm on there right now. The number on the screen is listed. So I'd love to hear from you. We get calls from all over. And some people are really loyal every couple weeks when they watch the podcast. In 1993 or 4, the Blessed Mother appeared to me. This one's Visions from Mary. I thought it was appropriate to share it tonight because I did 12 paintings. This is the Nativity. Oh, I always do this because it's backwards. So it's like looking in a mirror. Ah, there we go. There's the nativity. And she appeared to me and wanted me to paint 12 paintings. And there are 12 meditations, lessons, prayers, and paintings. The paintings are in the back of the book, and that's called Visions from Mary. And it took 4 years to develop that one. And briefly, because I'm an ordained minister, everybody be patient. I know you're getting a little impatient. I can feel the energy coming at me. I'll try to get to as many of you as I can. But the true nature of love, I'm an ordained minister, and this is a prayer book. And it covers a lot of different subjects, from creation to trust, forgiveness, patience, money, children and the inner child, pets in the animal kingdom, spirituality, soul purpose, and so on. It's a little nightstand book. People love it. They pick it up. They read a prayer every night and so on. So that's the true nature of love. And my little guidebook, it's been revised 4 times, and it's called Messages from Beyond. It is a book of positive affirmations. There are prayers to be said in it. It's conscious manifestation. You know, we do attract what we think. That's how I met my husband. So there's affirmations for meeting a companion, for getting a good job. It talks about soul colors, soul numbers. It's just covers a multitude, you name it. It's in here. And it's my most popular book of the 7 books that I've written. So I wanted just to go over those briefly. They make wonderful Christmas gifts. So if anybody's watching that would like one, I'll be happy to sign it for you. What are we, Tony? 3 weeks away? I think we're 3 weeks.
Actually,
maybe 2.5
from yesterday.
Was what?
Would you say from Christmas?
Yeah.
2 weeks from yesterday.
Holy heck. I got to get with the program.
Yeah. So we're close.
Yes, we are. I hope everyone's ready out there. So thank you for part 1. And we're going to take a little break now, just a little commercial. And I'll be back with Jingle Bells on, everybody. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. See you on the other side.
Do angels exist? Do they accompany us on our journeys through life? Do departed loved ones continue to watch over and at times communicate with us?
Miraculous Encounters is over 100 true stories of people's experiences with angels and the other side. There are 10 different ways that the spirit realms communicate.
Miraculous Encounters, true stories of experiences with angels and departed loved ones. Available at michellelivingston.com and wherever books are sold.
All right, we're back with Michele Livingston.
We are back, and I wanted to let everyone know, if you are on my fan page and you're writing comments, I will get back to you at some point tomorrow. I don't see the comments when I'm on the show like this, but I promise I'll get back to all of you. And we're in a little bit of transition right now. We're thinking about bringing guests on, so you might want to make a note of this, live, and do live readings for them on air. So if you're interested in coming on as a guest for a live reading, we're going to have a split screen. It's called Zoom. Write me a private message or get to me on my friend page or my fan page. Let me know basically who you would like to hear from. And if you would like a Zoom reading, it would be a mini reading. But we're thinking of that for the next quarter. We work quarterly. I'll be on a Christmas and New Year's hiatus for a little bit after this show. But so, Tony, what's it look like? Do we have anybody saying anything? Any calls coming in?
Your phone lines are full, and people are in the chat room are going crazy. So, yeah, they're ready for some
action.
Action.
Are there any questions about anything, or is it just merely they want readings? Because sometimes there's questions about things.
Let me just kind of scan real quick if you want to take a call, and then I can look at some of the questions in the chat room if you want to.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's start with 717, Jennifer. You are on with Michele Livingston, so go ahead and say hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Jennifer.
Hi, Michelle.
How are you, dear?
I'm doing wonderful. I didn't expect to get through.
Well, guess what? You got through. So the Christmas angels are with you, my dear.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm so happy.
Oh, well, bless you. So what is your question, Jennifer?
Well, it's not much of a question as I don't know if you remember me sending you messages back and forth. I was wavering on getting a message from my mom who passed away recently and my grandfather. And then I kind of backed out because of not sharing, being afraid of godly reasons. But you reassured me that you do protection of prayer.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Even before I come on a show like this, darling, I call in the angels, and I believe in white lighting and protecting. So is this your first time talking to me, Jennifer?
It is.
It is? Well, honey, there's nothing. Just kind of calm down. And let me just explain the difference between what I do and the paranormal. Paranormal deals with earthbound spirits. Okay. So I deal with those in the love and light of God. So you're safe, precious. Don't you worry about a thing, Jennifer. Now, who would have had cancer, Jen?
Yeah, my mom.
Your mother? Okay. The symbol's coming up. And honestly, I have a lot of friends and people both on fan page and friend page, so I don't remember talking to you. But I do have to say, if your mother did have cancer, she's through. And she looks absolutely... I'm sorry, dear. What'd you say?
She did, and it kind of happened quickly and took us all by surprise. But yes, she had cancer.
Yeah. She has her hand on her chest and her abdomen. So it could even have been starting to move through the bloodstream, Jennifer, the cancer. Your mother is radiant. When I say that, she has the most beautiful rose-colored light around her. She says, Jennifer, you knew I'd come through. I arranged it to talk to you tonight, she says. She takes your hand, sweetheart, and she squeezes it. And she's thanking you for being there for her. I don't know if you were there physically at the end or just emotionally with prayers, but your mother's thanking you. And she has a heart of gratitude, darling, for you. She's had her hair done to come to talk to you. And she's holding up a hairbrush. I don't know if you ever combed your hair, brushed your hair. And also she's checking you out. I think you either need a haircut or you need something done with your hair, Jennifer. Isn't that funny? Your mother wants you to go get your hair done.
I haven't cut my hair. I haven't cut my hair in probably 2 years.
She says anything you do is fine with her, but she has a big pair of scissors. I get a kick out of her. She wants to cut your hair.
My mom was a beautician in her younger days.
Really? Well, that's why she's making a big deal about the hair. But you're very loyal, your mother tells me, to the people that you care about. And even those, my dear, who have turned on you, there's still an element of forgiveness about you, sweetheart. So your mother sees your heart. And I need to tell you, from their realm of heaven, they really don't see us totally physically, but they see us in an ethereal way, and they see our heart light. So if we're a good person, we have a big flame fire going on in our heart. And sometimes if we're angry or depressed, we have a little pilot light going on. But you have a big flame in your heart, sweetheart, for other people. You really, really do. Did you ever have a dog, Jennifer?
Have a what?
A dog. Did you ever have a dog? That's now
yes.
That's now in spirit world.
Yes.
Because your mother has your dog with her, darling. Sometimes I get animals. Pardon?
That would probably be Ginger, which was her and Dad's dog, but we all loved her like it was our own.
Oh, this dog has these big flashing eyes, and it wants to jump up on you, and it's just really a very animated creature. And because I think it belonged to Mother and Dad and you, your mother brings you a little Christmas gift through, and it's Ginger, your pup. It's
Thank
Ginger. I love that puppy.
Thank
now, you're Jennifer with a J. Are there any other J names? John's, James, Joe's, Jean. What would a J name be in your pastor on earth, darling?
My pap had a John and a Jane.
I'm sorry, I know you're overwhelmed. Can you think of a J? A J? Yeah. I have a gentleman
at
through.
At the moment, I can't.
That's okay. I know I can feel you're overwhelmed. There is a great-grandfather, or I think an older gentleman, like a great uncle or somebody. James, John, Joe. I think that's where I want to go.
John.
Who's that?
I have a great uncle George, and my pap was a Galen with a G. He passed away recently, and then my great uncles would be I can't.
You don't have to tell me. If one is John, then that's where I want to go. That's all I'm going to say to you. Okay.
Okay.
There's an older gentleman through. I think it's a great uncle, and I think his name's John.
Joe. My mom's brother Joe.
Yeah. Well, he might be saying hello too, darling. And I know we're on a time delay, but you're doing very well with me, Jennifer. I have another man. Is your father's father passed, Jen? Your father's father?
That would be my grandfather, yes.
Yes, he's through.
He just passed away in July.
Uh-huh. Well, he salutes. So I have to say he's either with somebody that served in the military, or he might have served at some point. Okay?
He did. He was in World War II.
Yeah. He says, God bless America. I was proud to serve. This is someone you could literally sit down and talk to with a cup of coffee, or maybe even a Coca-Cola. See, now I'm drinking Coca-Cola, Jen. I don't know if you're watching, but and I shouldn't. It's not good for you, but sometimes it gives me energy. And your grandpop's winking at me. So he liked people. He liked people, your grandpop. He's winking at me.
Yes.
And he tells me that you're not alone. You need to hear this. Your mother has made it to heaven. She was a person of faith, that I know, because of the way she projects. She has Ginger with her. You have probably a hello from Joe, which would make sense. John, which would make sense. And Grandpap, your pap. Okay, Miss Jennifer?
Yes.
All right, darling. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See, it wasn't that bad, was it, Jennifer?
I was going to say real quick, at the beginning when you said about Mom holding her stomach in her chest, she went in the hospital and she kept having this pain right in her lung, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And then she ended up having perforated bowel, but that's what it all started with, was a pain right there.
Yes. Yes, and she was showing me
that she was holding it at the beginning.
Well, thank you for confirming, sweetheart, because that's what she wanted to show. And indeed, let you know it was her. Sometimes I get names and sometimes I get conditions, but she'll be with you on Christmas Day. She's with you right now, so you might feel her. But she'll be with you on Christmas Day. She wants to give you an angel ornament, Jennifer, a little angel ornament. If you don't have one, get one in your mother's honor, would you please?
I already did. It's a picture frame with her in it for this year.
Perfect. Well, thanks for calling in. Have a wonderful Christmas. God bless you, honey.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a great call.
Yes.
That was
Christmas spirit is here.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely well since it's less than two weeks. we have lots to be grateful for and thankful for, and I know all these people are wanting to hear from loved ones during this time because, like you said earlier, you know it's difficult. You know, losing my mom just a month and a half ago. You know, it is to know your mother's on the other side or your father's on the other side, and not there to celebrate this time of year together. So
their energy's with you, their love is with you, you know that, Tony. But there's nothing like a hug or a kiss in the cheek or a phone call. So I want you to hear something. If your cell phone rings and there's no one there or it's out of the area, it could be your mama ringing you.
Wow.
I don't know if you've thought about that, but it could be.
Yeah, but like I said, I've seen many signs of her.
Oh, have you?
Oh yeah. In fact, the other day I saw angel numbers, and then I went out and it was pouring down rain, and right above us the sun came out right above us. All the other parts around was raining, and a big rainbow showed up, and then as soon as we acknowledged it as Mom, it disappeared.
Yeah, she's saying hello. That's another sign they give.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rainbow of hope. So that's beautiful. Listen, you will continue to get messages for quite some time, and I love that you're open.
Oh yeah, no, I talk to her every day, even if she doesn't talk back now, but I talk to her every day. So
she hears you.
Well, let's go. Let's see. We have it looks like it might be Joanne. So 484. So let's go ahead. Looking for a Christmas message.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Joanne.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic, my dear. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Natchez, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in. Who would you like to hear from? Who would you like to hear from, Joanne?
My sister.
Your sister. Before we get into that, there's a male figure for you, darling.
Okay.
It's a dad or granddad, Joanne. So is dad passed? Are you there?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay, well, I want you to listen very clearly. I have a male figure for you. It's a dad or a granddad. Is your daddy passed away?
Yes, my dad has passed.
He's the first one through, okay? He has your sister with him. And he's with also another female, which I feel is a paternal grandmother, Joanne. You've been through a lot this lifetime, sweetie. And they know that, and they love you for that. You were pretty close with your sister, were you not, Joe? You were close with.
We were best friends.
I thought so. The reason I say that, I don't know if you're watching me or not, but the reason I say that is she has her fingers crossed. We were tight, she says. We were good friends, and I miss you, Joe. That's what she says.
Yeah.
She wants to pull on your ear. We're in December. Let me ask you something. I want you to listen to this. A celebration was last month, November, this month, or January. It doesn't mean it's with your sister, but who celebrated a birthday or an anniversary, Joanne? Can you tell me, honey?
I will be celebrating my birthday in January.
Okay, thank you, because there are balloons going back and forth, and your sister will be at your birthday.
I'm glad to hear that.
She says, Joanne, you're not getting older, you're getting better. She's laughing.
Oh, that's what I miss about her. She made me laugh till my stomach ached.
I know, and she's right next to you. She has the greatest smile, and I have to say she's laughing. She says, lighten up. She says, lighten up. She shows me stars, honey, stars. I want you to hear this. Between now and Christmas, on a clear night, just for a couple of minutes, go out and look at the stars, would you please? Your sister will be standing right next to you. They represent dreams and keeping your hopes and dreams alive, Joanne. Your sister had a heart of gold. She was funny, and she is very much missed. But just know she's with you a lot at nighttime, and she wants to come through in a dream. Have you dreamt of her yet, Joanne?
I do dream of her. It's very rare, but every night I beg for her to come in my dream. But the problem is I don't sleep. I lost my mom, my dad, and my sister all within 9 months, and I really haven't mourned them because it's too painful.
Yes.
So I don't sleep well. I don't sleep well at night.
All right, listen to me, because I got to move on. Take a warm salt bath. Don't laugh. Epsom salts and baking soda in the water will relax you and help you to sleep. Your sister and your mother tuck you in at night, precious. They're with you, and they tuck you in at night. So calm down.
Thank you.
Okay? Know that they're there. You will dream of them. Mark these words. You will dream of your sister. I'm telling you right now, and you'll remember it. All right? All right, Miss Joanne?
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless, darling. Happy holidays.
Same to you. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Aww.
Wow, to lose a mom, a dad, and a sister.
That's tough.
And I want to say something about laughter. When we're happy, they're happy. Emotionally, we still have cords attached and heartstrings attached. They love to see us having a good time. Probably Joanne's sister wants her to go see a comedy movie. She told her to lighten up. And that's the reason they do say those things sometimes. So we have maybe a couple more to go, Tony.
Oh, yeah, we can get a few more in. So let's go ahead and take another call. So let's see. Let's do a 6. That's enough. I was going to say 609, and it also says Joanne, but so I know it's not the same person. So, Joanne, you're on with Michelle.
Hi.
Hello, dear.
Hi. How are you?
Another Joanne. 2 in a row.
Yes.
Now, where are you calling from, Joanne?
I'm calling from Monroe, New Jersey, which is central New Jersey.
Well, welcome. Welcome to the show, and thank you for calling, darling. Who would you like to hear from, Joanne?
My mother. My mother died when I was 14, and I'm now 72. It's been a long time.
That is a long time.
Other people come to me, but my mother came once in a dream, a very intense dream, and that was maybe about 20 years ago, and I'll never forget it, but I have not had any contact with her again, and I would love to.
Oh, thank you so much. My papa died when I was 14, so I know how crushing that is. Let me just explain something, honey. In dreams, they don't usually give us a long message because they're working with us telepathically from their soul mind to our mind. So if your mother even gave you a short message, really, it's a great tribute because she worked extra hard to give that to you, you know? She was a very neat lady. Your mother was very neat. I can't pull them through, but I think I do have her through for you. And there's a chair that you sit in, Joanne. There's a special chair that you sit in. Do you have a throw or a coverlet on that chair? Or do you have one?
I do.
You? Are you with me?
Yes,
you do?
I am.
Your mother wants to take that throw or coverlet and wrap you up. When you're in your favorite chair sitting there, she's right beside you. I know it's been a long time, and there's so many things to do in heaven. And in Living in the Afterlife, in my book, honestly, you should read it because it tells us what we can do in heaven. Your mother loved people, and your mother also loved children. And I have to I have to say, she is sometimes in a heavenly nursery, Joanne, that when souls, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
That when baby souls come over, your mother gets them squared away. Now, they're old souls in baby bodies, but she loved children, and she rocks them when they first come over. And she tells them that they're in heaven. What a beautiful person your mother was. And there's a picture of her that you have. I don't know if she's looking over her shoulder, but it looks like an old time picture. But she had a gorgeous smile, your mother, a beautiful complexion. And do you have the picture out hanging up somewhere, Joanne, or is it on your dresser? Where's the picture of your mother? Can you tell me?
Yeah, it's on a bookcase actually, and she loved people, and people loved her. She was very, very lively, although she was very sickly. Her personality was really big, and people were drawn to her, and she took care of them. She counseled everyone, and so there is a picture of her at a beautiful park by a lake, and I'm there with her and my two brothers, my younger brothers, and yes, she is kind of looking over to the side, and it is from probably the 1950s.
Yes, well, I want to say that's one of her favorite pictures, and she's around the picture a lot. Now, are your two brothers still on Earth? Your two brothers?
Yes, they are.
Because she extends love to them as well as you. She calls them her boys, and she was a good mother. Her timeline was up, darling. I want you to hear this because I have to move on. With God's will, before we are born, we soul contract a timeline to come into the world. She did not mean to leave you at a young age as she did, but because she left when you were 14, you've learned strength. You've leaned on your faith, Joanne, and honestly, you've become a person of courage. Your mother sees that in you, and she honors you today or tonight, wherever you're watching from, darling. She honors you. Okay?
Okay.
So thank you for sharing everything. Thank you for calling. Is this your first time listening?
Yes, it is. It is.
How wonderful. Well, I'll be back again. I'm on a little hiatus for a few weeks, but I'll be back. I want to say you're delightful. God bless you, darling. Have a beautiful Christmas, Joanne.
Can you just do me one favor? Say hi to my sister, Mary Jo. My father remarried, and so I have another brother and sister, much younger than me. But she's online right now. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't know you.
Oh, really? Oh.
Her name is Mary Jo.
And she's
passed? Hi to her for me.
I surely will. And she's the one that inspired you probably to watch.
Yes, she did. She told me to watch. And she's listening right now.
Hello.
From Florida.
Well, you take care, my dear. Got to move on. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Michelle. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, we have time for one more. So let's do a 717. There you go. You're live with Michele Livingston. Go ahead.
Who's on
Hi,
here?
Michelle.
Hello?
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, darling. Who is this?
This is Tamara. How are you?
Hi, Tamara. How are you? Who would you like to hear from, my dear?
Oh, I'm sorry, my dad.
Oh, your daddy. Oh, you know what I see, Tamara? I see X's and O's, kisses and hugs from your dad. He doesn't waste any time, Tamara. He's right through here. He says you're his baby girl. You're his baby girl. And he was a kind man. He had a good head on his shoulders. I have to ask if I don't know you, But was there any blood sugar disorder, diabetes, not with him, but with someone else in family? Can you tell me?
No.
I think there was. I think it was misdiagnosed or undiagnosed, because someone had difficulty in walking towards the end. I'm serious. They're giving me some leg pain, Tamara. So this could be.
Yeah, he did use a walker.
Oh, he did. So this could be a blood sugar disorder that your daddy had that was not diagnosed, because he liked to eat. Your dad liked to eat. And
yes, he did.
he doesn't need a walker now, but he's letting me feel his leg pain. He had difficulty in going up and down steps. But all that's over, honey. He was a proud man. Right. Were you with him when he passed? There's an issue here. Were you by his side when he passed, Tamara?
No, I called him that morning, and like an hour later, and he was fine. He was in the hospital, and we were going to take him to a rehab, and I was waiting for them to call me to let me come and get him, but I called him like I always did every day, and called him at 8:11 and 9:23. They told me they were trying to resuscitate him.
Oh, honey. Well, listen to me. Please listen to me. There's an issue about this, and this is why this needs to be cleared up. Your dad tells me he loves you very much. He was a proud man. You didn't have to witness, please listen, you didn't have to witness him taking his last breath. He went up very quickly out of his body to heaven, and you didn't have to be there. If there's any guilt attached to not being there at the end, because I just felt there was an issue, please just let that go now, darling. Let that go. He says you're stronger than you think you are, Tamara. And he has a big grin on his face. And again, you're his baby. He wants to hug you. He's with you in your vehicle. I assume you drive, right? You commute or you drive, honey?
Yes.
Many times your dad's sitting in the passenger side. He wants to make sure you're safe in your car.
Oh. That's him.
I know. And he wants you to keep it inspected. He wants you to keep it up to snuff, he says, your car.
Yeah.
So at Christmas time, Daddy will be with you. And he wants to be your hero, Tamara. There's no greater love than a father and daughter, too. That's my heart goes out to you. So I want to say happy holidays. I'm so glad you got through, my dear. Thank you for watching.
So am I. Thank you. I love y'all.
I love you too. Bless you, darling. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Well, Michele, do you want to take one more? Or are you?
Oh my goodness.
Are you?
I don't know. Do we have time for one more, Tony?
Do one more, but if you want to do a closing, we could do that too.
Okay. Well, I've got like 2 minutes for a phone call. What do you think?
So if we take one more call, just make sure you have your question specific, and that way Michele can get right to it, because we only have just a few minutes.
We'll go quickly.
All right.
Okay.
So we have Mary Jo, I believe, and it's 813. So Mary Jo, you have about 2 minutes. So there you go.
Hi, Mary Jo.
You just spoke to my sister about her mom.
Oh.
And hopefully you're hearing from my dad, because this is his favorite time of year, and I miss him with every ounce of my heart. He was my best friend, and so I'm so happy to get through. I'm listening.
I am so happy you got through, because I do have your dad through. We don't have a lot of time, but do you like ice cream? He's mentioning ice cream. And he growing up, he either took you to get a lot of ice cream cones, or you love summer and you still love ice cream, because he's holding up an ice cream cone, Mary Jo. That is hysterical.
He loves ice cream.
And he's blowing you a kiss. He wants you to know he worked it for you to get through tonight, which I find is wonderful. And you can do no wrong in your daddy's eyes. Everything you've done has been from the heart, Mary Jo. And he loves your sister, so to speak. He really does. And he will be with both of you this holiday season. And put an angel topper on a tree. Would you please? Your dad wants you to do that. He tells me that you're his earth angel, Mary Jo. That you'll always be his earth angel. And where do rosary beads come in? And I got to move on. Is there Catholic anywhere?
Yes, we're Catholic.
Well, guess what? I got to move on, but I have a lady spirit swinging crystal rosary beads. And she's sending prayers down from heaven for you, honey, tonight or today. So I think it's a grandmother figure.
I wish I knew who it was.
What's that?
I wish I knew who she is.
Did you have a grandmother who was Catholic?
Oh, we're all Catholic.
Okay, I want to say this is probably your mother's mother. I feel more mother's side with her.
Oh.
And she says, wait a minute, stay in your prayer time. I don't want to preach to you. And you don't have to go to mass every day, she says. She's a character. But just know that I love you, Mary Jo. and she has her rosary beads. So I have to say good night, my darling. Thank you so much for calling. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad you got through. Take care. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Good night.
Another great show, Michelle. You did such a good job.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being such a wonderful co-host.
Oh, of course. It's a pleasure and an honor. And like I said, I learn every week from Michelle. I always do.
And I learn a lot from you.
Oh,
so,
you.
As I said, everyone, I'm going to take a hiatus. I'll be back in a few weeks. And Merry Christmas to all, and to all,
a good night.
A good night. Yay.
Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Attract what you want in life. Learn more about your evolutionary soul journey. Gain in-depth knowledge about metaphysical concepts.
Start with Messages from Beyond. It's a spiritual guidebook that talks about the soul journey. Everything you've ever wanted to know is in this book. It's Spirituality 101.
Messages from Beyond, a spiritual guidebook. Available at michellelivingston.com and wherever books are sold.